Hey, what's up, guys? Kakai here, and welcome to the webinar. So, just to smooth some things out real quick, you're going to notice on the viewers end of this webinar, for those of you who are on with us live right now, you're probably going to notice there's maybe up to a 60-second delay from the video feed on your end, and that's okay. So if we ask a question and then we kind of pause for a little bit, don't be confused by all that. It's just because some of you are going to be a little bit delayed on your end, seeing what you're seeing. So, welcome to the webinar. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kakai, and I just recently, about a week ago, just started running with you all here at the AWOL Power Players team here, and made the move over with Doobly. And there's several reasons for that, which I'll talk about here in just a moment, and we'll be talking about as we go throughout the webinar. Now, the purpose of this webinar is going to be, that we want to make this the original training, like the first training for brand new team members who are coming on board. So this will be, eventually the training that's pinned to the top of the group that we'll be, advising people to watch when they're first coming on board. And because of that, we have a couple of team members here who are getting results in their business, and we're going to be pulling them out as we go through and tell you exactly what they're doing. And the reason for that is because they're not. For those of you who don't know, I've done multiple six figures here online. A couple of years ago, I was broke, working in a coffee shop, struggling to get by financially. I was really upside down every single month. And at 29 years old, I was living in my mom's spare bedroom because I couldn't afford the rent anywhere. So not exactly where I wanted to be at 29 years old. Around that time, I got online and I started trying to figure out how I could make some extra money over the internet. And that's when I got plugged in with my previous opportunity. And there I did over $250,000 in my first 2 years in total earnings. Since then, though, I've obviously made the switch over here to, along with the AWOL Power Players, to focus on the Doobly opportunity. Because what I see here is easily what I would say is probably the biggest opportunity that I've seen in my lifetime. And so I got plugged in here and started running with Cameron. So we're going to go through some information today about what's working for us, and then we have some people on the call who are getting results as well, and they're going to share what's working with them. And the reason that we're doing that, getting back to what I was originally saying, is because we noticed that a lot of like most people, let's just be honest, most people getting started are not going to have the resources. They probably don't have the size of the email list that I have. They probably don't have the sales skills and training that I have, and they probably don't have the same skills that Cameron has. Although a lot of what you're going to see today is really anybody can do. So we want to bring out some players who are getting results right now, and because their stories are relatable, because they're on the come up just like you're on the come up right now. They're rocking and rolling, and they're building their future right now, and they're in the grind, right? They're not coming out here with a huge email list. They're not coming out here with six-figure incomes, behind them. They're not coming out here with having spoken on stages and being promoted by companies and things like that. So we wanted to bring them out and show that just about anybody can do exactly what we're teaching here. And so as we go forward, before I intro one of the speakers that we have on here, I want to share why it is that I actually made the decision to move with Doobly. And I was actually making a good six-figure income with my last opportunity. I mean, I was having $30,000 months and $40,000 months, and even when I wasn't working, I could pull in $10K a month. So I was sitting pretty. I was doing pretty good. And when I first heard about Doobly, and Christian, you're going to have to forgive me here for some of the things that I might say, so don't be offended, brother, because I love you. But when I first heard about Doobly, I saw a lot of people posting Hangouts, posting live presentations, and then posting a recorded presentation that's gone pretty viral now, which maybe even be the thing that you saw that brought you here. And one of the things that I noticed really quickly is that a lot of people were making promises based on what all of Team WooCar was going to do. What Matt Trainer had available, what Christian and everybody were working on. And for me, I was kind of in this headspace of, well, it kind of sounds like everybody's making these promises based on what somebody else is promising to do. And for me, I don't like to bank my future based on the promises of other people, right? Because at the end of the day, my results are my responsibility, and the only person that I can really rely on is me. So at first, I was a little bit turned off by it, and then, I happened to be on Cameron George's email list, and I get an email from Cameron saying like, "Hey, I got an important announcement for you. Click here, watch this video, and let's chat, kind of one-on-one." So I open up the video, and he's like 2 sentences in, and I know he's like gonna talk about Doobly. I'm like, what the? He's promoting Doobly now. What the hell happened, right? Now I've gotten to know Cam because Cam, I met Cam about like within my first year of online marketing. He shared some information with me that really helped me to take my business to the next level. What I learned from him easily contributed to the 6-figure income that I was able to generate. And I don't think that I would have gotten quite the same results that I got without his expertise. After meeting him, then we attended events, live events together, and I got to know him more personally. And some of the names that this guy would drop, as far as like people he had worked with personally, I was just astounded. Like I would bring up somebody and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was a student of mine," or "Yeah, that's somebody that I trained a couple years back." And I'm like, "No shit, man," because these people are like crushing the internet. He's like, "Yeah, those are my folks. Those are my peeps." And so I was kind of, at first I was like, "Damn, how's he know all these people?" And then I was like one of those people that was like, "Well, if you taught them, how come you're not making like $1 million right now every year?" And then I come to find out like a few months later that he had like made his first $1 million online when he was like 23, 24 years old. So we get to know each other a bit, and I start picking his brain here and there, and I quickly realized that he's easily one of the most educated marketers that I've ever come across. I mean, some of the stuff he was saying, and now keep in mind at this point I'm making 6 figures online, right? I mean, I'm generating traffic, I'm generating leads, I'm selling like a beast, and I'm having conversations with this guy, and he's like talking to me at such a high level that sometimes I'm just standing there like, yeah, for sure, got it, right? Because I don't even know what he's actually saying. It's like a whole other language to me, and I don't want to sound dumb, right? So I just started agreeing with him. So eventually, I caught up in the conversation. So as you can imagine, when I seen him make that move over with Doobly, that got my attention. And I know how he analyzes an opportunity. I know how he, comprehends the internet and everything. And so I was really impressed. So I asked him. I said, "Hey, let's chat. I want to. If you see something that's worth moving on, I want to see it too. Show me why. Explain to me why you'd make this move." So I got on the phone with him. We ended up having a couple of conversations, and once I saw it, I could not unsee it. And what I realized is that even aside from what all of Team WooCar has, which is phenomenal, and I'm really excited about it, and we're going to get into some of that stuff here, but aside from all of what Team WooCar has, we also have, Cameron has his own toolbox, treasure chest of resources and people that he's bringing on board to really bang this thing out hard. And for me, that was something that I really, I have a personal relationship with Cameron. I respect him. I know what he's capable of. And for me, that was a deciding factor. Let's put it that way. So I'm running with this. It's only my first week right now, and it took me a while before I could actually start talking about things publicly because I needed to, I at least wanted to make that transition without burning too many bridges. So it took me some time to work some things out. And even without saying too much publicly, I think I'm at about $6,000 right now inside of my first week, which is pretty cool, considering that I'm just now getting to actually market it as of like a couple of days ago. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Cameron out. And before I do want to mention that we have Christian here on the call, which is like totally badass. I don't know if you guys know Christian, but Christian is just, he's like the godfather of the internet or something like that. I don't know. It's he has like this fairy dust that he just sprinkles on the web every now and then, and like money just pours into his bank account. It's incredible. He's been online for about 2 years and done $1 million. So I thought I was doing pretty good when I did $250,000. And then I'm watching Webbies from Christian, and he's like been online as long as me, and he's done 4 times that, right? So he'll be coming out to share some stuff with you guys. And Cam, just jump out here and kind of take it away, brother.
No, dude, I appreciate it. I didn't I guess here, guys, here's the secret. You talk so far over someone's head that they just agree with you. I had no idea. I thought you actually agreed with me all the time. I didn't even know. Um, no, I really appreciate you guys all coming out tonight. Like Kiala was saying, that this is going to be our level 1 training, meaning that when someone gets started, this is the first thing we want you to see. So whether you're watching the recording of this right now or whether you're here with us live, that we want to touch on some things tonight of where you should really be focusing right now that's going to make you the most money. We're going to talk a little bit about the vision, about where we're going, but we're going to specifically be talking about what you should be doing right now to make the most money possible. In the last 2 weeks, I've done just over $30,000 focusing on this specifically, and not just that, we've had all sorts of people on the team having incredible success. I wish Jenny could have been out here right now. I know she's watching from the airport. Jenny is an incredible leader here with the team. She's repping the women, and she's done over $20,000 just in the last couple weeks as well, jumping on this thing, and I've never seen something convert so good. I've never seen something where somebody couldn't promote something that was $25 before, but now they're crushing out sales that are $2,500 right away because people just get it. They just see it, they understand the information, and they just get it. And for me, it was actually over a month ago when I seen this opportunity. I seen Christian's hangout, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that hangout as well. That one hangout is the only thing that I've been using to promote. So we're going to talk about promotion strategies tonight. We're going to talk about what you can be doing right now to start putting some money in your pocket and start preparing for all of the cool resources that are coming out. We don't want to bank on things on the future. We're going to talk a little bit about the future, but we want you to understand that what you have right now is what's going to get you paid. What you have right now is what you need to work with, because promotion gets you paid. Creation is, let someone else deal with that. All right, so we'll be taking care of that stuff. We want you guys to understand what you have right now and what you can work with, and that if someone like me, who, I mean, I've come back, and anytime you take on a project, we understand that we go through phases, right? And for me, working on a project on something that I've done $1 million on before in the past, or something where I'm already making multiple 6 figures, and to turn around and have somebody new that's getting started, it's kind of like, I'm working on this over here because I'm on this phase, but you can do this over here. And the really cool opportunity that I see here for you guys right now is the fact that myself, Keala, you guys got JR on here who's killing it right now, Matthew, Jang, Christian, we're all getting started with this new offer right from scratch. And the cool thing is that you realize that all leaders know that they never get to skip a phase. That no matter what, that $0 to $10,000 phase is a little bit of a grind phase. That you need to be able to build that foundation, that you want to be able to put together an initial team, that you want to be able to go out and reach out to people and kind of just work with what you've got. So without rambling on here, I do want to be able to keep this as tight-knit and focused as possible. I'd love to bring Christian out just so we can have the chance to introduce him to you guys. I know we've done a lot of team calls already, and this is the first time that we've actually had Christian out here. So I'd love for you to share your story, Christian. You're kind of, honestly, you're one of the main reasons that everything that's happening with Doogly right now is happening. I'd seen it before, years before, but I never had seen I'd never seen the vision for what we could do with it, and that's the only reason I shifted away from everything that I was doing to focus on this. So.
Wow. Wow. Well, I appreciate and respect you guys. I think there's a lot of mutual respect. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And I have a lot I can learn, honestly. I think my story, if I just sum it up real quick, I was desperate, and I suppose it's the classic rags to whatever story, but it's true. It's my story. Totally broke, totally against the wall. My wife didn't realize how broke we were. I was freaked out about her finding out how broke we were, because I was pretty sure after 15 years of marriage that might be it. And I love my wife and boys more than anything. I have 6 and 9 or 7 and 9-year-old boys now. And I was desperate, like more desperate than I've ever been in my whole life. And that's when I turned to the internet on September 25th, 2012. And the first few weeks were really scary. I spent money I didn't have. I borrowed money from everybody, and we sold stuff and did whatever I had to do to get going. And the first few weeks were really scary. The next few weeks continued to be really scary. It was coming in on Christmas, and I was still borrowing money to make ends meet. And I finally started to kind of settle down and focus on being productive rather than freaking out all the time. And once I started focusing on productivity and keeping things simple, things started to really click. And one of the early things I learned, you guys, is just to be myself. I've seen so many awesome people in the internet marketing space that can get on camera for 5 minutes and change a million people's lives, with this unbelievable Tony Robbins kind of thing. And I think I had visions initially of me being that, not because I wanted to be that. I thought that I needed to be some guy that could get on video for 2 minutes and change somebody's life. When I realized I could just be myself and succeed, just kind of relaxing and just being myself, that was a big breakthrough early on. But anyway, what led up to Doobly is I've been real picky when it comes to business models. I look back on what I've done so far. I look around at friends who have done MLM and stuff, and I'm not a hater by any means. I like to think of myself as just a realist. I'm pragmatic. I look at the numbers and the bottom line and what drives real business. And I think a lot of times in MLM, it's a little iffy. It's like I'm hesitant because where are the customers? I'm looking for customers all the time. Verizon and AT&T spent $75 million last year doing what? Fighting for customers. That's business. This is how business works. So at a fundamental level, I'm looking around at all the options in MLM, and I think this is one of the things that Cam and I connected on right away. It makes a ton of sense to have a business model that has such a broad appeal, that's so simple and so clean that you don't have the social, how MLM isn't really socially accepted still. I know that'll pass, but right now it's not cool to do MLM. That'll change. What's cool is most of the opportunity is in our laps right now because it's not cool, because it's a little bit tough, a little bit of the wild, wild west. But anyway, the business model for me was what really got me to sit up straight and pay attention with Doobly, and understanding that the customer to rep ratio is nearly 400 to 1. That alone, I was paying full attention. I wanted to know exactly what this is, how does it work, are all parties involved happy, what does the future look like, is it scalable, so a lot of the standard internet marketing questions that we all ask. But like you guys were saying, even on a real basic level for Susie Homemaker in Cincinnati, even somebody that has not been around sales and marketing and recruiting and stuff like that can make this work. And anyway, we've seen a lot of it, and I'm very, very excited to get to work with you guys and help out however I can, and excited to hear the stories. I had no idea there were people, and I knew that people were doing well, but holy cow, 20 grand in 2 weeks, 30 grand in 2 weeks, like isn't it easier too? Well, you're saying that. I think the conversions come easier. I think it's a little bit of, instead of so many people saying no, like 6 or 7 out of 10 saying no, we're having 6 or 7 or 8 out of 10 saying yes. And if you guys have seen my numbers, that's what I attribute it to. I'm making about 10 times what I normally make, and I'm doing the same kind of work.
I think what everybody really wants to know here is, when are you going to buy the internet?
So, dude.
Quick here, you've had some astronomical numbers. The cool thing is that, guys, what I seen here with Doobly and why we got plugged in is because of the customer side of this and what we can do with the numbers. I didn't actually really care about the networking side. I seen this as the ability to leverage the home business space, all the resources and things that we have and that we're going to be able to make available to everyone. Some really cool infrastructure that we're going to put together for you guys, and be able to leverage that to be able to shift away from the home business space and build more of a customer base that is using a product that just simply from building a user base, you're able to build a long-term sustainable residual income that isn't really possible anywhere else, and it's not possible with any other business model, to be honest. And that's what I've seen here with this. But the really cool thing is, like, I honestly had zero income goals. I had no intention of actually making money on the networking side. But then when I started seeing the numbers, like, Christian's basically the guy pressure testing the comp plan right now. And it's like, we're all just like, whoa, did that just happen? Like, is that actually happening with the numbers here? Like, let me check this out. And I just keep finding out new ways that we're getting paid, and I'm just kind of blown away. I honestly haven't tried to figure out how the comp plan works or what's going on. I just keep logging into my back office and seeing things go up, because this is something that's spreading so naturally, and I'm sure that's what every single one of you guys here is going to find as you actually start reaching out, using the tools that we're going to talk about here in a moment, and just start sharing the message. Because you don't have to sell, you don't have to pitch, you don't have to do anything. Heck, worst case scenario, you can give them a free membership. But all you really have to do, and all I've literally done this entire time to make the money that I've made in the last little bit, has taken the hangout that I've seen of Christian and Matt and basically said, hey, what do you think about this? What's your opinion on this? You see what I do? And that's literally all I've done. And we're going to share some stories here of some other leaders on the team in a moment, so you guys can hear exactly what they're doing. But Christian, is there anything that you wanted to touch on here specifically? Before we get into that, I did have a couple questions that I wanted to ask that I know are on a lot of people's minds. But do you want to talk about what you did to initially get started with Doogly to kind of kick things off? Because the main focus we want to have on this call is getting someone up and started and into cash flow as quickly as possible.
Sure. Yeah. My philosophy is talk less, do more, and I try to keep things really, really simple. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight and watching the recording if that's what you're doing. But make this the last thing you watch. Take action after this. When this is over, take action, and that could be. So I'll just go back to what I did. And this is kind of old school. It's really old school, and it might offend some people. But this is what I did. I made 2 lists, like on paper, like this. And one list was people that I knew that had good work ethics, who I liked, who I trust, people who I would like to work with. Most of these people didn't have recruiting history. They didn't have sales and marketing experience. They've never done anything online necessarily. It's kind of the Susie Homemaker in Cincinnati kind of friends that I have, and family, brothers and sisters and parents and people that I love. People that if I really truly believed that this was going to go absolutely crazy, I wouldn't want to leave these people in the dust. If I had a choice, if I could help it, I wouldn't want to do it. So I made that list, and my thinking with that list was, and this is Kayla, you picked up on this, and the truth is, I think we hammered this too hard early on. We talked a lot about something that was just too far away. We could have and should have toned that down, and we have lately. Really good points. However, now that we see this actually starting, as of this hangout, this is actually the wheels are turning now. We're seeing conversions. This is kind of behind the scenes. We're testing of the videos that are being uploaded, the jobs that are being done, and I believe we're a few days, maybe a week or 2 now, away from realizing the scenario where Susie Homemaker in Cincinnati can plug in after she puts the kids to bed at 10 o'clock at night or whatever, do some jobs for the team, and then from those jobs, and by jobs I don't mean recruiting, closing, selling, none of that. I'm saying do this work and benefit in the form of signups. So that's coming. That's probably, I don't know how deep you want to get into that, but that's one of the lists I made. And my business has hundreds of these kinds of people in it, and I want to encourage you to take that list seriously. The other list I made was anybody I knew that was influential, whether they, it might be the sales manager at the local car dealership where I bought my last car, or certainly any high-level networkers, even practically any networker friend that you have, because every networker friend has an upline. And what's the standard MLM dream? Isn't it to recruit your upline? That's kind of the standard dream. So you never know where those things can go. I made those 2 lists. I focused on reaching out to those lists. And in the beginning, we didn't have that hangout yet. What I did was kind of raw and rough. I would recommend what Cam's doing. Just get them to look at the hangout. That's what I do now. So I hit them and I keep hitting them. And I keep it simple. There's not a whole lot more for me to say. I believe that as you take action, you'll see what we're seeing. You'll have people go, wait a minute, what'd you say? 11% cash back when I book a hotel on Priceline? You mean not abctravel.net? Serious? Like, that's too good to be true. I need to see this. That's the kind of reaction we've gotten a lot of the past couple of months. So anyway, that's...
What do you think, what should somebody focus on right now? So right now, they should take the time to sit down and realize that, hey, I have an opportunity here to help out anybody. And I actually just sent an email out to my list. And yesterday, I was going and doing some last-minute shopping because it's Thanksgiving here in Canada, guys. That's how focused I am on your guys' results right now. Right now, this is Thanksgiving, and I'm here for you guys. But literally, I go to the store, and I'm checking out, and I sit there and I listen to the 5-10 minutes of just pure struggle from the lady that's standing there working at the checkout, telling me about how she hasn't had a day off in over 2 months, not going to have the chance because she's been working 2 jobs, and she's not going to have the chance to spend Thanksgiving with her family or her children, which is the reason why she's working so hard at these 2 jobs, so that she can put food on the table for them, and that Wednesday is going to be her first day off in over 2 months, and she doesn't even actually get to have a day off to spend with her kids because the time that she was going to get to spend with her kids, she actually has to go to a staff meeting for her 2nd job. And I'm just sitting there, and honestly, it breaks my heart to hear stuff like that, and to know that somebody like that, with that type of work ethic, without any previous knowledge whatsoever, that you have something here now that you can give them, that you can just give them and say, go to work. Let's create you a lasting income here, because you actually have something where you can impact them. So what you have the ability to do is to make a list of the people that aren't networkers, that aren't business builders, and to actually talk to them about something where, hey, they can just do a job. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's about your offer and an audience. You don't want to go talk to them and say, hey, there's a biz op, and try to convert them into something that they may or may not be interested in. But, I mean, you can always ask them for their opinion on the Hangout too, whatever. And then what you're saying, Christian, is to have another list of all the business building type people and to get the proper materials in front of them. And what I want you guys to get is, because I think a lot of people have come on here, they're like, I came here just because I want to do the task, because I'm tired of building a network marketing business. I'm tired of team building. I'm tired of chasing people around. I'm tired of people quitting and leaving. And what I want you guys to understand is that if there was ever a time to do one last sprint and to put a team in place, this is it. Because every single new business builder in this business is like another share in the rotator for you. It is literally something that anybody can do, and what we're seeing is duplication that was never possible before. It's not possible in any other business model. It's not possible with any other opportunity. It's not possible with any other team except for what we have right here. And that what we can do now, what I want you guys to understand is, like, Cameron, you've done over $1 million on the internet. Are you telling me you're making a list? Yes. When you start something new, the first thing you do is you work with your existing circle of influence. You're not going to go spend a bunch of money on traffic and advertising to bring on cold traffic. I can't work with what I've got now. And the cool thing is that we all have an existing circle of influence. I don't care if it's one person. I don't care if you're the lonely guy up in Siberia and your only person in your influence is your freaking dog. You better talk to him about it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has a circle of influence, and there's no point in doing all the things that we're going to show you guys how to do and how to blow this thing out until we finish this phase. And that's what we're talking about tonight, level 1. Level 1 is about working with your current circle of influence and your existing network that you have, and whether it's an existing list, whether it's people that are just close to you, and just really thinking about who you can help, who you want to help, and setting aside any fear or limiting beliefs that you may have had in the past, and just realizing that it's time to burn the bridges and to commit to this, because the moment you do that, it's game over. The moment you do that, you're going to open up doors and an opportunity here that you've never had access to before. So I think that's what, basically you answered that right now, that's what everyone should be focusing on right now, is just your current circle of influence, and to really take the time to sit down and lay it out. And being someone that has crushed it online and is going to help you guys crush it online, I'm still telling you to do this. Make a list of, it doesn't have to be your friends and family. It can be anyone that you want, but do it. And the bigger, the better. The bigger, the better. And we're going to talk a little bit about why and what you should be focusing on. So my next question for you, Christian, I was just curious, because I have a perspective on this, but I'm really curious on what you're going to say, but what should their goal be right now? What should their immediate goal be right now, especially knowing what we know about November 1st coming up?
Yeah, I take things one day at a time personally. I take, really bite-sized. I'm all about whatever my next action step is. The goal for the month, for sure, by the end of this month, you gotta do whatever it takes to get to sales director with Doobly. I love something you just said about burning bridges. This is a conversation I've had with my brothers, my close friends. I've looked them in the eye in some cases, or talked to them on the phone really intensely, and just gone, what are you going to do? What's your plan? Have you really thought about your alternatives? What are your options? And I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm trying to love these guys and be straight with them for a change, and put them on the spot and hammer them down and go, man, like one of my younger brothers, he is going to die on the job. He's going to die working and leave nothing for his family if he doesn't do something different. And by do something different, I don't mean play with Doobly on the side. I mean burn the bridges, sleep less, eat less, work more. I'm talking about like an all-out sprint. Give it everything you have. If you bring really big intensity and you work with these guys here, you work with us, there's nothing you can't do. I came, broken, bloody, just a mess 2 years ago, and I tied into guys like this, and I gave it everything I had, and that is where my life finally started to change. So I hope you can hear this. If you're here goofing off, you know who you are. It's okay, I guess, but if you have big goals, forget about it. You cannot do that while you're goofing off. You got to hammer this thing. So, what did you ask me?
What do you think their goals should be right now? And you touched on it actually, saying sales director by November 1st. You have a little more insights on why that is so important? Do you want to touch on that to really stress the gravity of this situation and why it's so important?
Yeah. I'll just lay it out. So Matt Trainer and Rich Cook are business partners in Doobly. They are upline. They're kind of the head of WooCar, and they had about $130,000, $140,000 a month last month in their business. They announced a couple weeks ago to the team that they're going to forego all of the extra money. So once their bills are paid, the money that's left over is going to be going into people's businesses anywhere in the team. It doesn't matter if you're 1,000 levels deep, far from Matt. Doesn't matter. As long as you're in WooCar, you come in and you hit sales director by the end of this month. And I'm not saying by November 1st. I'm saying by the end of October. You come get that done. They're going to pour all of the extra money that they have in their business, which last month was over $100,000, and it's only growing. They're going to pour that into paid traffic, specifically pointed at those people that make sales director or above by the end of this month, and they're going to keep doing that until you hit $1 million in your back office, until you've made $1 million in Doobly. There's going to be some terms and conditions that come out. I can tell you right now, if you're thinking about how you might be able to game the system, that's not going to fly. This goes back to, if you're really here with us and you're really here to do the business and really run with this, in that case, they'll take you to $1 million. They'll run with you to $1 million. And until that happens, until everybody who hits sales director above by the end of this month makes $1 million in WooCart, they're not going to take that extra money. They're going to continue to just pay their bills and put all the rest of their monthly commissions into paid traffic for anybody who makes it.
That's powerful, guys. I know Kiala gets that. I know JR gets that. He's smirking. I know Jane gets that. I know most of the people who are listening there get that. And if you're coming in right now and you're watching this video as a recording and it's past November 1st, well, all I can say is you should have listened the first time you heard this. There was a reason that we were being really urgent in the marketing message and told you to get started. But for all of you guys that are here right now, I want you to really understand what it feels like, because it's that motion, that little ball in the pit of your stomach right now where you're kind of getting fired up a little bit, to what it really feels like to know that there's $1 million sitting on the table if you would just roll up your sleeves and make it happen. I want to ask you guys right now, what would you do to make $1 million? Would you sprint for the rest of this month, day in and day out? Would you stay up? And that's like, I'm sure you guys have all heard the video where it's like, most people don't want success. They don't want success as bad as they want to sleep, or as bad as they want to eat, or as bad as they want to relax. Until you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, and I'm sure you guys have all seen that motivational video, only then are you going to make it happen. So I want to ask you guys, like, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to actually sit down as soon as this call ends and make a list? Are you willing to start sending people a Facebook message and start actually reaching out and reconnecting, not pitching people and sending a link in like the first thing that you send? And we're going to touch on that stuff here in a moment, but to actually reconnect with them. And I'd love for you to touch on this for a second, Kiala.
Yeah, actually, I want to jump in here and kind of clarify some things that I'm hearing here. And Christian, I wanted to get you to come back out and kind of answer some of the questions that are in the chat right now that I don't know if you can see because you're on the Hangout version of this instead of the webinar version. But guys, when you get into a business, right, there's phases in business. There's always phases in business. I bought a $3,000, $3,500 educational product not that long ago, a little over a year and a half ago. And there was a couple multi-million-dollar earners in there talking about the different phases of business. And right now, as you're getting in and you're watching this and you're continuing to watch this entire presentation, understand that right now we're in the building phase of the business, right? So there's a couple of major phases. There's the business building phase, which is what we're in right now, and then we'll move. As things continue to progress, we'll be focusing on a customer acquisition phase, right? We're actually going out and getting people to pay $99 to buy the Doobly service and be able to get cash back on all their purchases. There will be a time to focus on that. Right now, the phase that we're in is the business builders phase, and there is literally $1 million on the table, right? And I remember seeing I recently hung out with a guy by the name of Mark Culverson. Some of you will know who that is. Some of you won't. It doesn't really matter. He's done, something like $20 million online. I paid $5,000 to go spend 2 days with him back in April. And there's an exercise that he has people on his team do, and it's called the $1 Million Day. And he basically challenges anybody on his team to treat, just for 1 day, treat it like a millionaire came to you and said, if you finish all the things on your to-do list today, I will give you $1 million. And so that's their homework, is to treat that entire day like there's $1 million on the line. And what he's seen is people will grind out a full 24-hour day, get no sleep and nothing, just to make sure they get everything done. And even though there's not an actual $1 million on the line, what they accomplish in that 24 hours, a lot of them are completely astounded by. Well, what results they can create in a short period of time when they just pretend that there's $1 million on the line. And so what I want you to understand right now is that there is an actual $1 million on the line coming up here, and you can qualify for it by October 31st. And there's a real $1 million that you can accomplish. And those people who get it, we know that they get it because they're the ones inside of the Facebook group talking about how they can't sleep at night, how they're banging their car into objects while they're trying to park because they're not getting enough sleep every night, right? I don't know who that girl was, Jenny, I think, or something, right? But she's like so tired and worn down that she couldn't pay attention while she was driving. That's because she realized that there's $1 million at stake, right? You can write your ticket inside of the next, I don't know when you're watching this. If you're watching it live with us right now, there's what, like another 27 days or something like that. And if you're watching the recording, there's however many days there is left in a month, and anybody can get to SD in 24 hours. I solidly believe that. So it doesn't matter if you're watching this on October 30th, you got 24 hours to make $1 million. Go make it happen. And so, Christian, what I wanted to ask you, brother, is what I'm seeing some of the questions coming in is, can we be a little bit clearer about what it takes to qualify as at SD? So you're the most familiar with the comp plan, so if you could just come out and just kind of clarify that for us, I'd really appreciate it, bro.
Sure. Yeah. Let me share my screen for a second here, so you aren't just listening to me. I can show this here real quick. I need to learn how to draw on my screen, make it easier. But if you can follow my cursor here, you see the orange SD 20%. If you come down here, you'll see the structure for sales director. To be sales director, you have to have 3 frontline team coordinators. Okay? And if you can, maybe, let me see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, this will be better. Okay, so sales director is somebody that has 3 frontline team coordinators. So the question then is, what is a team coordinator, right? If you look to the left here, if you can see me circling this, a team coordinator is somebody who has 3 frontline team leaders. These can be TLAs. Everybody's familiar with that. You can get set up at the 2475. That's a TLA. So if you get set up and then you recruit 3 TLAs, you're immediately a team coordinator. So the fastest way to sales director is to duplicate this then 3 times, right? So you get TC yourself by grabbing 3 frontline TLAs. Have them each grab 3 frontline TLAs, and you're a sales director. And I've got my full calendar on display there. Anyway, that's how you do it. What you were saying, Kayla, is I've seen it happen. We have at least 4 different people that have done sales director in less than 48 hours. And I love the exercise. I love that. And you're dead on. There is literally $1 million at stake here. And we have plenty of time.
You're the man, Christian. Send over that fairy dust when you get a chance. So that I can so guys, so let's get into like the actual training here, Cam, if you're cool with that. If you think we're ready to move forward with that, and focus on exactly what it takes, what you can start doing right now to help yourself get there. And I'll kind of start out and just let you guys know right up front that there's a couple things that Christian have said and Cameron have said that are absolutely true. You know, this is kind of embarrassing, but like 6 months ago, I was making fun of people who made lists and called people and did home meetings and all that stuff. I mean, I made fun of them all the time. You can go back and look through my Facebook timeline if you want to see some of that stuff, because I was marketing an opportunity that was like fully online, and one of our selling points was that, look, you don't have to do any of that crazy stuff. You can come learn how we generate leads, sales, and commissions completely online without bugging friends and family. However, I've had to retract a lot of that stuff that I was saying, because when you get in on the ground floor like we are right now, right, and we're in what we would probably call, I think, you know, Cameron and I have called it a few times, this is like the messy phase, where things aren't super clean and crisp. There's not like a full-bore team training website. Things are in production right now. But now the messy phase is where you make all the money, really. That's where all the money is really made, right? I mean, the last opportunity I was with, when they launched, they had a website that didn't fully work. They had no support department. Their support tickets, when they actually sent in, people actually sent in support tickets for the company owners actually just went in and deleted all of those tickets in bundles because they didn't know how to support they didn't even know how to handle the support tickets, right? 60 days in, the company merchant account got shut down. For another 60 days, nobody could get paid, and they still grew phenomenally well in that period. And I could name several people, I won't drop their names on this webinar, but there were several people who positioned themselves in that phase where everything was chaotic and coming apart at least it looked like from the outside, right, to somebody who didn't quite see the opportunity, it would look like things were coming apart. There were people that got in there and positioned themselves to earn 7 figures over the next year to 2 years. And they went on to do that because they were in on that ground floor level in that messy phase. So we're in that messy phase right now. And so we don't have like a full-scale, sales presentation. I mean, we're sending a replay of a hangout that Christian and Matt Trainer and John Lavinia did. And, the thing freaking converts better than almost every sales video I've seen so far. So it actually, it works. And so my point is, though, that you're here with us right now on the ground floor, and I took, right, the same guy that was making fun of people who made lists of friends and family members and called meetings together, I took the moment that I got started here, I started writing down on a piece of paper and pen. I took down and started writing down all the influential people I know, people who are, network marketers, people who are not network marketers, people who are, just, traditional brick and mortar entrepreneurs, people who are, motivated, highly skilled, successful, people who have social media influence that I personally know that I can reach out to. And now that I've finally gone public with what I'm doing last, just on Saturday, I think it was, or Sunday or something, then now I'm going to actually start being able to reach out to those people. So what I want you to understand is, like, we're doing exactly what we're telling you to do, and this is one of the things that I find exciting, is that this is the first time that I'm getting the opportunity to work with my team where I'm in here at the same level that they're in here at. I actually have a team member right now who's earning more money than me, which is really exciting. Like, he got in and he plugged in 7 people in 24 hours, and he's actually earning more money than I'm earning right now. And this is somebody that this is like when I couldn't get anybody to even get close to what I was earning with my last opportunity. So we're literally on the ground floor right now, and we're doing exactly what we're telling you to do. So I think thing one that we're telling you to do, which if you haven't caught on to it right by now, is make a list of the people that you know that are influential in any form or fashion. And if you don't know people that are influential, make a list of people that you know, like, and trust, right? Because they probably know, like, and trust you. And start reaching out to those people. And we'll get into exactly how we're reaching out to them that's been effective. But, step one, just so we're clear on it, step one, right? Make a list of the people that you know that you have influence with, that you have a relationship with, that you can open up a conversation with. Make that list, today. Those names should be coming to mind, and you can be writing them down as we're continuing to go through this training. So, Cameron, I'm just going to hand it over to you because you've been doing that and you've been sending stuff out to people, and you're getting pretty phenomenal results with it, considering you did 30K in your first 2 weeks. So, and then I want to bring out JR and Matt here in a few minutes too, because they're they're grinding it out too and getting results using that same strategy. And this gives us an opportunity, guys. You're going to want to pay attention here closely, because you're going to get an opportunity to learn from people who are in the trenches right now, in the same position that you're in starting, and who are able to get results. So go ahead and take it away, Cam.
So what I'd like to actually do is I'd like to loop around and summarize everything to give you a very compact to-do list. You know step one right now. And I've compiled it here into 5 simple steps. But before we do that, I know that it's Thanksgiving in Canada right now, and I know that Matt and these guys actually need to jump off here right away. So what I'd like to do is I'd actually like to have them come out and share what they've been doing, what's been working for them, and how they're doing here right away. Jang is going to hit SD here for the end of the month for sure. JR is probably going to hit SD here tomorrow. So I wanted to give you guys, I wanted to bring some people onto this call that are just making it happen, who they just see the vision and they get it. I've never seen someone so, I'm going to say enthusiastic, because it means that you're in alignment with something. I've never seen someone so enthusiastic about an opportunity. I know Jang's been losing a lot of sleep here, so if you wanted to come out, buddy, and just kind of share a little bit specifically about what you've been doing, what's been working, why it's been working, and what you kind of see moving forward.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And yeah, I haven't been sleeping a lot at all, actually, lately. I've been literally, I've just been crashing because I've been staying up from getting like 2 hours of sleep and then dying. But it's just exactly like what you're saying. I've just been keeping it really, really simple, and literally just reaching out to my warm market and just seeing if they see what I do. You know, you're like literally keeping it as simple as just sending them over a hangout. Tell me if you see what I do, right? And most people that are going to see that, they're going to get it right away. Like I've never seen anything really where like with the previous businesses that we were in, I never had anything that I could just send them to a video and they're like, okay, I'm in. You know, like most people, everyone's like just stoked from that, and if not, they need a little bit of more, you know, just a couple questions that they need to answer. But everyone's just pumped right away from from seeing the Hangouts and what we have to offer here, and literally all I've been doing is doing that, and then my team members that are coming in, I'm just allowing them to leverage me. Some of them don't know how to do sales. Some of them don't know how to do different things, and I'm just literally letting them put me to work, and I'm just saying, you know, plug me, play connector, just like you were saying with me. Play connector and just scan into a video and then send them over to me. And so I've been just kind of doing that and then working closely with my team and helping them any chance that I've been able to get, and it's just been literally just keeping it simple like that, not trying to go out. I haven't built a sales funnel. I haven't ran cold traffic. I haven't spent $1 on advertising. I haven't done anything. It's been literally sending a YouTube link and then just kind of following up with people and just seeing if they see what I do. And that's just been, just like you guys are all saying, it's just been keeping it really, really simple. And that seems to be what's working the best for me so far.
So Matt, what if you had, like, what do you think, what is your script basically? What is your script? Because what I don't want to do is like tell people, yeah, you know, just go shoot out this link to 100 people tomorrow and then see what happens. I mean, that might work, but I'm sure there's probably a little bit more strategy to it, brother. So could you kind of give us, like, how do you open the conversation? How do you warm people up before you introduce that link to them? And then what are your conversations typically like once they watch that presentation?
Yeah, and for sure, and by all means, I don't want you guys to all go and just start shooting videos out to everybody, because like Hal said, that's not going to go over too well. So it's really just making the conversation about them, right? I don't talk about myself at all, and even if they ask me a question, I'm going to direct my question back over to them and just keeping the entire conversation about them. What are they doing? How are things going for them? How's their business going? You know, everything is all about them. Right? People just love to talk about themselves, and so I'm just letting them do that, and they're going to keep keeping everything about them. Eventually, they end up coming to me, and I'm just really vague. I don't say doobly, I don't say WooCar, I don't say anything. I mean, oh, you know, we're working on a really cool 7-figure sprint we're going on, and I just play it low, and they're like, what do you mean? What is that? You know, and I don't say too much about it. I just like, oh, you know, it's this cool little project that we're working on. Looking to do 7 figures. It'll be kind of cool. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, here, what I'll do, I'll send you this video. Let me know if you see what we do. And then usually from there, most people, I'd say at least 50% will be like pumped, and then there's another 50% that, you know, they don't quite get it still. They'll see it and they'll be like, well, the Hangout was really big, or they'll say something like that. And it's just been me really just, I break it down a little bit more of exactly what we have to offer, and really all I've done is just going through like the videos, like the $100 million exit, going through all the different videos that we have to offer, so that I know exactly what's going on. I know all the different things that we have in place. I know how everything's working, so if they have a question for me, I'm not having to say, oh, hold on, I'll ask Cam. I know how to answer it, right? So that, I don't know, I found that a big thing for me was being able to have the information to be able to give to people if they do have those questions. Other than that, I mean, like you guys are all saying, I've never had anything that, you know, 7 out of the 10 people are going to say yes to it, which is a really big factor when it comes to this, and it's just been something that's it's made it really, really easy for me and my team who's come in, and some of them have never had success before, and they're just following the same model that we're laying out. And so what I've been doing really is just kind of building that relationship more. I'm not leading in with just a video, right? Keeping it about them, asking them questions, making the entire conversation about them. And, you know, eventually they may come to me, eventually they may not. But if they do end up coming to me, then I'm very vague about it. I don't say too much about what's going on. It's just kind of, you know, we're working on a big project, and you know, I'm looking to do 7 figures, and I'm really excited about it. And eventually, if they ask me what's going on, then I'll shoot them the video, and I'll just ask them if they see what I do.
The power of ambiguity.
There's a couple of important things that you're mentioning, though, Matt, that I want to touch on real quick. Is one, you said that you're getting them to talk about them, and I think the thing that escapes a lot of marketers is that they think that we're here to sell stuff, but we're not. We're here to solve problems. Marketers are problem solvers, right? So in order for us to sell something, we first have to identify what the problem is, and then position whatever it is that we have to offer as a solution to that problem that somebody is facing. That's how you open up a conversation and close somebody into buying something, right? So here's some of the problems that I think that Doobly is solving for people. One, it's a relatable offer. It's something that anybody can explain in 1 sentence or less. See, the last company that I was with, I used to get all the time from team members are like, Kala, I don't know how to explain this to people. People keep asking me what is this thing that I'm doing that I keep posting about on Facebook, but I don't know how to explain it to them. And my answer, honestly, was like, well, I don't know how to explain it either. Just get them to pay the $25 and get in. Like, just get in. Whereas this is like something I'm seeing. I just had a team member. He's in his 70s. He's been running with me for a little over a year now. Never really had any success with that last opportunity. He got plugged in with us, and the next day he had 5 people in a room and was like, Kala, can you come out via Hangout and talk to these people about what it is that we have to offer? And one of those people right now is pulling the money together to get on board. So one thing that we have is a relatable offer. So if you can help somebody identify that maybe part of their problem is that their offer is difficult to explain to someone, right? Then you can position this as the solution, because you can then say, well, what if you had a product to offer that everybody understands? Like, it's in everybody's regular conversations that they're having with people all the time, and you could literally explain it to somebody in like 2 sentences or less. Do you think that would help you? And then if they say yes, then you have an intro there, right? You can start to intro the opportunity. Another problem that I'm seeing that Doobly solves, and Cam, you can jump out here with more that you can identify. I'm going to go into a couple that I've been talking with people about. Another one is that it solves a lot of the traffic problem. So if we're talking to people who are online marketers, a lot of times what people will tell me is that, well, I bought all these ads and nothing's converting. And well, part of the reason that nothing's converting is a couple of things. One, the make money niche and the make money online niche, which is what I was coming from, those are extremely small, tart niches, right? When you talk to most internet marketers, they'll tell you straight out that that is like one of the tiniest niches on planet Earth right now. Now, can you make a lot of money in it? You can if you're really skilled, right? You can if you're really skilled. However, there's a lot of traffic that's escaping you because that's your product, that's your offer. So with this, we're offering something that everybody relates to, which means that we open up doors to traffic that we haven't had access to now. So I'll tell them about people that we have access to who drive 1 million clicks a day to an offer. I'll tell them about some of the people that Cameron has on board that have already generated 2 million customers for this type of an offer, so that they know that traffic now, we have solutions to their traffic problems. And then I explain to them that, hey, what we're doing right now is a fresh offer in the make money space, and it's converting higher than anything that we've seen so far because it's a fresh offer. So you have the ability to get in right now while something is still fresh and open to the market that you can begin introducing people to. So we solve the traffic problem, right, is what I'm basically explaining to them, and we solve the relatability issue of the product. So those are just a couple of things that I've identified with my personal audience that I see as problems that people are facing that we're able to solve for them with the Doobly offer.
So by now, you guys, you're starting to realize, you're starting to have some ideas. You're starting to see how you can solve some problems with this. You're starting to see some holes in the marketplace that this fills. You're starting to see how you can frame this and how you're going to be able to bring this up in a conversation to some of the people on your list. You're starting to see how you can make this relatable and how you can do this in a cool, fun way, helping people without pitching or selling anything, because that's not necessary here. And I'm going to go a little more into that here in just a couple minutes. But before I do, I wanted to pull out Christian here one last time, because I know he's got to run. For those of you guys that don't know, Christian has the craziest schedule you've ever seen. And what Christian actually wants to do is for anyone here that hits TC or above. When you hit TC or above, Christian's basically willing to jump on and do a sort of proof call with you, where he's going to go into, and I'll actually, you know what, Christian, I'm just going to let you explain this, because I just really want everybody to understand how powerful this is, how important this is, and the fact that he's even made this offer for you guys is astronomical, because we all understand how valuable his time is, and if you guys seen his bank account, you'd know why too.
Christian is the godfather of the internet, so he doesn't actually need to. That's what happens when you're the godfather of the internet. When you have that magical fairy dust, you just like hibernate in like something that maybe resembles the coffin for like 2 weeks out of the year. You're good for the next 50, right?
That's so funny. You guys are hilarious. I'm going to log in while I'm while I'm talking about this because I want you guys to see the gravity of what we're talking about here. And this is a result of keeping things simple. The training you guys are getting here tonight is so dead on. It's so right on the money. This is what we do. We're not advising you guys to do stuff that we haven't done ourselves. This is what we have been doing. I'm going to go back to August because that's when I got started. I got started August 4th. And that's really when WooCar, that is the day that WooCar began to exist. I want to say more about this offer that I want to make to you guys. Jam into whatever you got to do to get yourself to team coordinator. Get to team coordinator. Reach out to whoever you're working with. Maybe reach out to Cameron or Kiala or one of these guys here. Let them know I've done it. I'm ready to take advantage of that offer, and they'll connect you guys with me. What I want to do is get you on a private hangout, so it's just me and you. The first thing your people will see is you. They're going to hear your voice, they're going to see your face. So imagine what happens when one of the second list we're talking about, one of those really connected, influential people. Imagine what happens when one of those guys gets your email, clicks on the link, up pops a video that's your face, your voice saying, "Hey, I was just talking to Christian about you. Christian, can you show me what we're talking about?" And I come on and I say, "Thanks for having me on here. Let me jump into a screen share," and I start showing them this. So I bring this up. I come in here and say I had about 50 grand in regular pay in August. I had 12 grand worth of fast start bonuses. I had some other bonuses on tabs I don't want to click in because I don't want to have to edit the video, but total was about $67,000 in August. If you go to September, keeping in mind that all I have done, I have not spent a dime doing internet marketing, and I think most of us tonight here have that in common. We haven't even made it out of first year yet. In a lot of regards. I'll make this bigger. So this last month, 134 in regular pay, about 100 worth of fast start and other bonuses that they, just part of the comp plan. And then I had other money in here again, so 239,000 and change for the month. That literally is 10 times what I normally do. A full 10 times what I normally do. I am as shocked as anybody with what I get to show people. I'm shocked, and I'm grateful, and I'm telling you, we have hardly scratched the surface. In case you're thinking right now, I want to slap you if this is what you're thinking. If you're thinking, "Oh man, the money's already been made," no. You got to hear these numbers. Worldwide right now in Doobly, there's almost 12 million customers globally. Guess how many reps there are? You might have already done the math when you know that the customer to rep ratio is almost 400 to 1. We're right around 33,000 in the world. I'm talking about 33,000 promoters worldwide in a company that's global, seamless, everywhere. In North America, get this, in North America, there's less than 5,000 of us at the time of this recording. Do you realize how wide open this is? These numbers. So here's another. Let me go to October, and I want to show you one last thing here. And I want to cap off this offer and tell you guys why I think this is a really big deal. October so far. What is today? The 13th. So it's October 13th. This part of the pay doesn't calculate real time, as any of you that have been working have probably noticed. You got to kind of work that out manually, and I keep an eye on it. This for me is running at about 50 grand right now, so I'm at about 122,000 so far. I'm tracking it just a little bit ahead of where I was last month. I think is kind of where I am now. But this has been done. I got to change the size of my screen again because I don't want to have to edit stuff. But I want to show you wanting to be totally transparent here. We gotta I want to hide the names here, but show you my start date. Okay, I don't know if everybody can see this. August 4th, 2014. I guess mid-afternoon is when I got started on August 4th. I've personally recruited 104 people is what that means. Now, if I click on this, it'll show you the total organizational count. This is a big deal. For anybody that's been around, these numbers should be flooring you right now. Look at this. My total organization, 2,775 people total. So let's just say less than 2,800 people. Okay, less than 2,800 people. And my total payout so far is over 420,000. Maybe 430, something like that. That to me, I've never seen numbers like this before, ever. So not only is it easier to do, it pays out better. and the cash flow is logical. You know, it's not a money game. It's not a gimmick. It's not a game. This is serious business. This is big business. Let me get off the screen share, and I want to finish off this offer. So what I'm proposing we do. Think about this. Tackle team coordinator. Link up with me. Let's do a ridiculous screen share. Over 400,000 earnings on a fairly small team, and make some points. Let me jump in here and cover 2 or 3 things. Kick it back to you. You take 30 seconds to wrap it up. Imagine you have a 7 or 8 minute hangout that you start and finish with these kind of numbers involved. Forget about the numbers. How about just some transparency in internet marketing and network marketing, a world that is dominated by so much talk and such little proof? You know, I know occasionally see a guy that will show some stuff, but these aren't screenshots. This is me surfing around. I want to do that with you because imagine the power you'll have when you start to reach out to these really serious connected people, and you can say, my buddy Christian and I just made a video for you. Will you please watch it? It's 7 minutes long. And you're done. If that doesn't open the door, I don't know what will. You know. And by the way, I show both sides. So I show the customer side and the business side. You get a few $100 in cash back, and I kind of do a quick demo of the product and how it works. So anyway, I'd love to do that for anybody that's TC or above. If you want to get that done, just let these guys know.
I hope you guys get that. That's like tens of thousands of dollars worth of marketing materials, and he's willing to take the time to do it with you guys personally. And I hope you guys understand how valuable his time is. I mean, you just seen what he's making a month right now. He didn't even have internet. Like, did you see what he did in October? He hasn't even had internet a day in October. What did you get, internet like yesterday?
I get it on the 21st.
You just did a 6-figure month, and you haven't had internet the whole time. So I want you guys to get that and to understand that. He doesn't even have internet yet. He just got his little hotspot. That's hilarious. So I really want you guys to get and understand that, and to realize that all you have to do is hit team coordinator, and we'll set that up for you. And the other thing I want you to do is to realize how powerful of a marketing piece that is, and to realize what you can do to reach out to team leaders. Guys, we have people with teams of 14,000 plus people that are seriously looking to Doodly, that are willing to move their entire organization because they're realizing this is bigger, that the cash flow is easier here, they don't have to change buying patterns, and that the comp plan pays better than anything else. There's people who are looking at moving entire teams. So I'd like to add a third list to your to-do list. I'd like to add a third list outside of the hard workers and the people you know. I'd like you to add a dream list where you can put together your dream downline, people that you could only, if only they would be in your downline. And guess what? I want you to connect me with them. I will get on a call with them. Kiala will get on a call with them. You're already going to have the video here from Christian to open up the conversation. And guess what? We will put some heavy hitters inside your organization. And we will move this thing fast. Because that's what's happening right now, guys. That's the benefit of this messy phase. This messy phase is when people are looking at making big moves. And if you guys just hit team coordinator, you're going to have the perfect marketing piece in order to go open those conversations. And just all you're going to have to do is connect them with myself, with Kiala, with JR, with anyone. And we're gonna put it to we're just gonna close it. It's just when people see these numbers and they understand what's happening, you can't unsee it. Once you understand what's happening here, and if they have any business sense at all, they're going to put everything that they're doing to the side, no matter what it is, and they're going to come here, they're going to get all in, and they're going to tell everybody they know about it. So the most influential people you know, create that dream list, hit team coordinator, and Christian's going to hook you up. Awesome. I know you got a jet here, Christian. Really appreciate you coming out tonight and putting it together here for the team. I know this isn't something that you're doing for everyone, so really appreciate it, man. Lots of love for you, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what you're going to do once you make it $1 million a month. I want to know what you're spending on it. I'm going to pay you to be able to follow you around and see how you're spending it.
I appreciate you guys.
I just want to be Christian's Farnsworth Bentley, you know, like the guy that just like dresses pretty and carries the umbrella. I'll just do that.
Hey, good to see you guys, JR. I wish I could hang out and hear from you. It was good to see you in Dubai. You're a badass, and I wish I could hang out. I gotta run here though, guys.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Christian. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. Good night.
So guys, another thing that was just mentioned is that I want to touch on, right? Is besides like finding people's problems and offering a solution, what I've been doing, even considering that I've done like 6 figures online, I've been on stages, I've been on company calls and stuff like that. And I have a pretty good audience and a pretty good authority with my audience. I've been playing connector as well, right? So rather than when somebody reaches out and talks to me or asks me questions, rather than me talking to them about what is available by working with me, I've been handing people over to Cameron as well. So I'm doing the same thing that we're telling you guys to do. Cameron was actually up with me at 2 a.m. his time this morning, on a call with me with somebody else inside of the industry who's pretty influential, and he stayed up till 2 a.m. to take that hangout, and we were on that hangout for I think like an hour and a half, and that's just because I'm doing the same thing that we're telling you to do. So rather than telling somebody, hey, this is what I have to offer, this is why you want to work with me, I'm telling people, well, this is who I connected with, and this is why I made this decision to run in this direction, right? Is because of the credentials of this person. Right, so now I'm taking the authority or the pressure off of myself, and then I'm just putting the pressure all on Cameron to close them. But the reason why that works is because then I don't have to sit there and like talk about myself and sell them on me. I can sell them on somebody else, which is easier to do. Right, I edify that other person, and then I say, if you're interested, I could probably get you a call or a hangout with them if that's something that you're interested in. And this is what I'm doing, right? Even though I've done 6 figures, even though I have enough authority with the majority of my audience that I could probably close them myself, because this is just an easier strategy to use. And so you heard Matthew talk about it, you heard Matt talk about it, where he said, I'm doing the same thing that I did with you, Cameron, is I'm telling them to, play connector and connect me with whoever they open up the conversation with. Because it gives his team member the opportunity to edify him as an authority instead of trying to edify themselves and then bridge the gap over. And now they're just playing, hey, I know this guy over here, and I can get you some time with him if you're serious. Would that be something that you're interested in? And when they get on the phone or they get on a call or they get on a hangout or they get in a chat with that person that you just edified, basically they have authority and they can, the person's not going to challenge what they're saying as much, which makes it a lot easier for you to turn that conversation into a team member and close them in. So, Matt, would you agree with that, brother?
Sorry, I had to mute myself. Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. Just because you're edifying them, you're putting them on that pedestal, so they're immediately viewing you as that authority figure. So, like even for myself, I don't have anywhere near as much success as Cam or yourself, but they're edifying me and they're just in that sense, so that when the person comes and talks to me, just like you're saying, they don't have those objections, right? And I'm able to handle anything that they have a lot easier, just kind of based on that. And there's still times too where I'll send someone over to Cameron, right? There's still, because that'll make it easier for me as well, right? So we're all doing the same types of things.
And yes, guys, I've done $1 million on the internet, and I'm taking upline calls. I want you to understand that this is grind mode. I want you to understand that this is grind mode. I want you guys to understand how how contradictory a lot of this stuff sounds, but at the same time, what you're willing to do to kickstart your business, to leverage the resources and things that you have right now, because this is what you do at level 1 in the level 1 phase. And I want you to understand that we've all done it and that everyone needs to do it. And I also want you to understand that despite everything we're talking about here, at the end of the call, I am going to give you a summarized breakdown of exactly what you need to do moving forward. But before we do that, I want to bring out JR, who's going to hit Sales Director here in the next couple days, and to share kind of what he's been doing, what's been working for him, and how he's been able to crush out Sales Director so easily, because he's kind of just there. I don't even know what's going on. He just kind of showed up and he's like, "Oh, I'm Sales Director now." This was really easy.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. I just want to kind of start off how I ended up where I am right now. For the last couple of months, I've been working real hard, taking a lot of action. I've been reading a lot, and I just finished a month and a half ago the book Think and Grow Rich. And something that's just engraved in my head is that successful people make decisions quickly, and they change their minds rarely. And so I've been kind of like trying to live by. I've been working at living by that for the last few months now, and I wasn't having much, like I was struggling, but I was still pushing, and I was making a lot of quick decisions, and from those decisions, they wouldn't be the right ones, but I would just keep going, right? And then last month, I see this video, the video that Christian that you guys are all talking about, that we all send everybody to this video, and I watched it, and I made a quick decision. I got in right away. The next day I found out that the event for this was in Dubai, and I immediately figured out any way I could to get to this event because it was like in 3 days. I booked the flight. I got to Dubai, and I'm glad that those are the best decisions I ever made. Since then, my head's been spilling with information. I want to throw up. I can't sleep. I'm too excited right now. I got back from Dubai, and within 5 days I got my return on investment back. And since then, in the last 4 weeks, I've made just under $10,000, and it's just ridiculous. I'm about to hit Sales Director in the next couple of days, and because I see what this is, and pretty much the way I've been contacting people about this is like you guys. I've just been connecting with everybody, seeing what's going on with their lives and whatnot, and then when they start asking what's going on with me, I pretty much tell them what I'm up to, you know, and I let them know. I go, hey, you want to hop on a Skype call? And we'll get some more. I'll get you connected. I'll explain what's going on with me, and we'll get going. The second they get on a Skype call with me, I know it's game over because I know that what I'm going to explain to them is going to blow their mind no matter what. And pretty much everybody that I spoke to on the phone gets in because they see what's up. And I have not even started with my list yet. I've literally just been talking to people that, from the top of my head. The main thing that I focus on with them is there's two things. The first one is that this is something that you don't need to know how to market. You just need to be able to work. So you need strong good work ethic. If you know how to work, like if you could drive a car, you could do this pretty much, right? And the second thing is retention. The main thing that I focus on is retention. No one's going to leave a business where everybody's making money, right? This is something that everybody could do, everybody could make money with, and right there is just retention for you. I've been doing things where it's been really hard on retention. You just really got to grind and push through it, and as quickly as people come in, they leave. Well, with this, there's none of that. No one's going to leave, you know? Why would you leave if you're making money? So that's the main thing I focus on. And when I scrunch the numbers down with people, it's kind of like, it's not that it's too good to be true. It's just that you just happen to be in the right place at the right time. You know, you got connected with people that just happen to be working hard, and they've connected you to this. There are 7 billion people in the world, you know, and there's like Christian was saying, in North America, less than 5,000 people in this right now. So the fact that you're hearing about this right now, this is an opportunity right now. And like I said earlier, successful people make decisions quickly, and they change their minds rarely.
So if you were to break down the process just as simply as you can, like the most basic fundamental way, from the moment that you've reached out to someone, from like kind of the first thing that you say, a little bit of how the conversation goes, how you transition into showing them some materials, how you kind of follow up and get them started, how would you break this down?
Broken down, well, for starters, I start connecting with them. I say, hey, what's up, you know, and I, like Jang was doing, you know, I figure out, I just get them talking, see what's going on with their lives, and connect, and then eventually they turn around and they start asking me what's up, and I'm not that I get straight to it. I kind of start talking about what's going on with me and what I'm going through. And to be honest with you, I'm just so revved up that it just comes out, you know. And I guess my excitement rubs onto them, and they feel it, and they start talking with me. I don't have many people that have been kind of pushed back from what it is. I have one person actually that was pushed back, but this is a guy I kind of know more, so I told him. I said, as a friend, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. This is going to help you. At least let me educate you on what I'm doing right now, and from that point, you can make an educated decision. And then my buddy was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I hop on a Skype call. I explain, I break it down, and then he goes, okay. And then after that, I send them the video, and they watch the video, and they get in. They say, where's the link, and they sign up.
Now, just because I know this is kind of something in the back of people's heads, and I've brought this up in a few other trainings, but what's the worst thing that's happened when you've reached out to someone?
They said no, they're busy. They'll be like, no, I'm busy, or they'll just say no. It's like, okay.
Did it hurt your feelings? Did it affect your income? Is it going to stop you from hitting your goals?
No, not at all. If anything, the way I see it is like, okay, well, the seed's been planted. A no doesn't mean no. It means I'm watching. So it just means that in 2-3 months, they're going to see what's going on, and they're going to go, hey, yo, what are you doing? I remember you were telling me, what's up, So
the worst case scenario about everything that you've done so far, the worst thing that's happened is you've planted a seed, you've gotten someone's attention, and you've gotten them to pay attention. And all you really had to do was reach out, genuinely connect with someone because you wanted to. I mean, what are you up to? What have you been up to these days? I haven't connected with you in forever. And basically when it comes to what you're up to, it's like, well, actually, I'm working on this project that I'm really freaking excited about. I've actually never been so excited about this. I'm really glad you asked, actually. I'd love your opinion on it.
Yeah, and if people aren't listening to you, it's because of one of two things. It's either because they don't trust you, or let me rephrase. The two things that cause people to listen to you is either trust or admiration. So they either admire what you're doing or they trust you. So if you don't have those things, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get people to listen to you. So that's my goal, my intention when I go into conversations with someone is to either have them build the trust or admiration. And once I feel like I have that.
How have you built trust in the past? Like, what are some things? Like, I know a lot of people, they've seen, so for you personally, they've seen that you've had results with things before in the past. So some people trust you because they've seen that you've gotten results, and they trust that you can help them get results too. Or they admire the work that you've done or some really cool videos and things that you've done. But aside from those, let's say the newest person coming in and getting started, what are some things that you've done on a really basic scale to build trust and to kind of create that relationship? Would you say that it's just kind of being genuinely interested in them, or?
It's really, from what I'm seeing, you really gotta just speak. You don't want to speak to them in a way where it feels like you need something from them. You gotta speak to them in a way like you're helping them. This is something like you don't have to be a part of this. I'm doing this. This is gonna help you. Like. Not for me. If you don't do this, it's not going to change anything for me. But I'm just trying to do something.
Your detachment, your state of detachment when you're in that conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome. Super powerful.
Yeah.
So, Kale, I don't know, are you noticing a lot of the same things, a lot of the similarities that I'm noticing? Because I'm actually really excited to break this down into a formula here for everybody. But I'd love to hear your opinion on this. You can grill JR here a little bit.
Yeah. Some really, really cool stuff that you're talking about, dude. So you actually just highlighted a couple more problems that we solve for people, right? There's the retention issue, which a lot of people deal with. For me personally, I got really frustrated with being involved in a business where in order for me to keep my income, I constantly had to replace people, which is not true. It's not really residual, right? It's not really like I can really take a month off and not do anything. I could take a month off, but I would still have to have ads running and still have to have things in place that could automate for me so I could continue to earn a substantial income. Whereas with this, what we're seeing is that people get on board and they stick really well. So you touched on that point. What are some other? I have two questions for you. What are some other problems that you're using? Or solutions that you're offering that you're positioning Doobly as a solution to what? If you could name a couple things, you mentioned retention, and then the other thing was, you said that once somebody gets on a Skype call with you, you know that you're going to close them. Could you kind of give us an idea of like a general breakdown of what what you go through when you're on one of those Skype calls?
Okay, well, right away from the top of my head, the main thing that I do focus on is what this is, what Doobly is, right? So I explain to them cashback, right? Actually, from the video I watched with you and Cam, where you were talking about when you go to a store and you say how many people would like to make money online, right? And then you go and you say how many people would you like to get free cashback on your everyday purchases? Who would say no to that, right? So that's what I break down the concept of what it is. I explain to them how there's three levels in regards to the customers, and then the customer side, the network side of things. I break down the numbers for them, what it is, and then at that point, I've now explained to them exactly what Doobly is. So then I go, okay, hypothetically, let's say you were to quit your job, right? And you see the numbers, it blew your mind, you quit your job, you don't want to do anything else. You're going to commit yourself 4 hours a day for the next year to going out and getting 2 free customers for the next year, right? How hard would it be to get 2 free customers within 4 hours? 2 people that are going to use this product, are going to shop online, right? Within a year, you have 728 customers, and I just scrunch the numbers down to them, and then it's a ridiculous number, right? Just from that, and then I explain to them what this really is, what you have the opportunity to do, and just take that numbers, and then now look at just this perspective. I just break it down into perspective for them, That's what I do on the call, and that's why I know everyone's going to get in, because when they see the numbers, it's kind of like, well, I'd be ridiculous. I'd be crazy not to get in, It's too expensive. At that point, it's too expensive not to get in. They're actually throwing money away when they don't get in.
So I'm gonna jump in here, and I see an opportunity for us to take this even further old school, right? Even further, and let's do some role playing, dude. You cool with that? I mean, not like kinky kind of role playing. We'll do that when we're up in Canada together. But let's do the role playing where I want to be your prospect. All right, I'll be your prospect. And I just want you to kind of have a conversation with me. Obviously, I'm not going to make it a long conversation, but this gives us a pretty good opportunity right here for us to do maybe like a 10, maybe 15-minute training on what exactly your conversations are like, so somebody else can mirror them in their own conversations. If you're cool with that. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But in regard, you're talking about me on a Skype call right now?
Right.
Okay. It's not much of a conversation until the end. It's more me just going off with the numbers.
Okay, that's cool. So how do you want to start this? I'll say ring ring. You'll say hey, what's up? And I'll be like, all right. So JR, you got my attention. We'll start there, and then just kind of treat it like you normally treat a Skype.
Which is exactly what Cal said to me when he called me. You got my attention.
Okay.
Is that cool with you, dude?
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, let's
do it. So ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, JR? All right, man. So, I see that you're excited about something. You got something going down.
Okay.
You have my attention here. I only have maybe about 10, 15 minutes. Okay. So, kind of give me a breakdown of what it is that you're up to, brother.
Okay. What have you heard of so far, though? What have you heard about this?
Well, all I did was I watched that video that you were talking about, so I know, Or are you outside of that, are you having people watch the video first or get on the call with you first?
I get on the call first, but sometimes people know about,
Okay, so, well, here's what I know, is I know that there's something going around right now that has a lot of people's attention. I hear there's a lot of buzz. I've kind of caught wind of a portion of a presentation, but I thought that it was kind of boring, and really I didn't want to get distracted by by the opportunity that I'm focused on right now. But if you're as excited as you are, well, then I'm willing to hear a little bit more.
All right, man, perfect. I'm really glad that you're giving me the time to explain to you what this is, what I'm doing right now. So pretty much what it is, man, it's Doobly, man. It's called Doobly, and it's a cashback. It's the #1 global cashback e-commerce site in the world. Okay, it's got 10,000 stores. It's affiliated with 10,000 stores. For virtually any store that you could think of, they're affiliated with. Best Buy, Walmart, Sears, Apple, Foot Locker. They're with everybody, right? And it's you're getting free cash back on your everyday online purchases. And by 2016, it's estimated that 70% of North Americans are going to be shopping regularly online. And so we're right now, it's the wild, wild west. Nobody knows about this. We're on the forefront of this right now. So I'm just going to explain what it is exactly. So Doobly, you come in as a free customer, okay? We're going to be getting people in as a free customer, and there's 3 levels to that, right? So you're either a free customer, a premium customer, or VIP. Free is free. At VIP, at premium, it's like $4 a month, and at VIP, it's $99 for a year. Okay, so that comes to like 8 something a month, right? 80% of people upgrade from free to VIP. So 80%. Okay. Now, there's incentives in regards to getting people to upgrade. That's why so many people upgrade. One of them, for example, is say you bought shoes 2 weeks ago and you got 5% cash back, right? And then you got a purse for your girlfriend 20 days ago, right? You got 4% cash back. You're going to get notified that, by the way, you got this cash back. If you were VIP, you would have got this much cash back. So when you see that, you're going to be like, oh, well, I'd probably almost get my money's worth, so it's the no-brainer. I might as well get cash back, right? If you get VIP now, they're going to give you all of that cash back from those purchases that you made. So it's an incentive for getting people in. Another one is the more that you use Doobly, the more cash back that you get, the more they'll give you. They'll give you more cash back on your purchases. So these are reasons why 80% of people upgrade to VIP. Now that's just the customer side of things. Okay. Now as a business associate, which you and I are at this point. Okay. As a BA, what we're going to call it, you're going to be getting 25% commission off VIP members, off everything, off your customers, okay? So when they come in at VIP, you're going to get 25%, which is $25, okay? And then you also get a $20 referral for getting them in at VIP. So it's $20 plus 25, it's $45 a year. 25 of it is annually because they're going to be renewing, right? So it's $45 per VIP customer, okay? Plus you get 25% off their cash back, okay? So it's estimated every year that a customer will get about $800 and $900 cash back. You're going to get about $100 to $200 cash back of that, okay? So that's what this is, okay? So now let's just scrunch the numbers down a bit. Like I said, if you were to quit your job out of this, or hypothetically, you freak out from this, you quit your job, you go 4 hours a day for the next year, you're going to commit yourself to getting 2 free customers a day, every day for the next year. And these are 2 people that you know want to shop online, they like to shop online, okay? Within a year, you have 728 customers, okay? 80% of that, 80% upgrade to VIP, that's 582 customers, okay? That went to VIP. 582 times $45 is $26,208, okay? That's just VIP. Now, you also get commission off their cash back, okay? So let's just say you got $100 from 500 of them, okay? That's $50,000. Plus 26,000. Your first year, you just made $76,000 going out in the streets, getting 2 free customers a day. That's what this is at this point, and that's not including the fact that what we have right now is a guy named Matt Trainer, who is an SEO genius, which is search engine optimization, right? This is when you look up stuff on Google, right? Let's say you look up how to play basketball, you get a search, right? He's the guy that makes his link, you see his post on the first page of Google for these things. He causes you to see what you search. He's a genius. He just dropped $40 million worth of contracts to jump into Doobly. He's built a system that you don't even have to know how to market, you don't have to do anything. You simply need to do tasks that are going to have this rotator spin, and you're going to build credits into this task. And this rotator, the tasks have just started last Friday, and this rotator is launching in November. They estimate that this rotator is going to be bringing in 10,000 customers a day, and there's 3,000 people that are in this right now, part of this team, and 10,000 customers a day. So scrunch the numbers, do the math on that. What you'll be getting once you start working the rotator and doing the tasks. Now, what these tasks are, it's a step-by-step thing. They're going to show you how to do it. You just do a video. You're just going to be making a video. They're going to give you the keyword to put into the video, You do the task, you send in the video, it's going to take less than 15 minutes, and you got one task done. The more tasks you do, each task equals a credit. So you're just going to add up the credits from there and have the rotator do all the work for you. And then I continue going from there. I keep going. I go on for like 30 minutes. But there's more. But I go, but wait, there's more. There's more, man. Right now, your head's probably going to start spinning, and this is where you might get dizzy. You're going to feel sick because you're getting a little bit excited here, and I just keep going. And
I'd say one of the most powerful things isn't necessarily even what JR is saying, guys. It's his energy and his excitement, because it's contagious. And so it's not like you need to sit here and be like, oh my God, he said all these words. I don't know what to say. I'm taking notes. Don't worry about that. I'm going to give you a couple summarized points because, I mean, I do some of the same stuff, but I say it in like a sentence. But we're going to give you guys some chunk down points. It's not so much what you're saying. It's your enthusiasm behind what you're saying, and there's a reason why he's so excited. And that is, I mean, the majority of communication isn't the words that you're saying. It's your tone of voice, your punctuation. I know Kiel knows a lot about this stuff as well. Maybe you can touch on that.
What do you want me to touch on? I just heard my crunching what everything JR just said. I think what you're saying, though, is that it's the subjective communication that really counts. And that's really what it comes down to. It's not so much the words that you're saying. It's what are you subjectively communicating to your audience? Are you subjectively communicating that you're skeptical about whether or not this is going to work? Or are you subjectively communicating that you're really excited about what you're working on right now? So you can see, like, JR right now, he's kind of just role-playing, so he's probably not even really as excited as he would be if this were actually he and I on a call. I mean, I can imagine how excited JR would be if I was like, hey, JR, so I'm thinking about getting a new downline, dude. Would you be jumping on it? Would you jump on a Skype with me? I can imagine, like, JR is, like, hanging from his ceiling, right, holding his computer, talking about this opportunity, and just how excited he is going to make me want to learn more. It almost doesn't matter at that point what he says. It's more so like all the things that he's throwing out are good. You know, I'm not discrediting that. What I'm saying though is if you're excited in your communication, you're naturally, and there's science behind this, is you're naturally gonna infect the person that you're speaking with excitement. And when somebody's excited, they want to know more. So they'll go watch whatever presentation you send them to. They'll go listen to whatever conference call recording you want to have them listen to. They'll go do whatever you tell them to do next because you just infected them with your energy. And that's pretty much what you want to do in any form of sales. You guys will eventually be able to get on sales presentations with me, and anybody on my team on sales presentations with me, they know that I get like pumped up, excited, passionate, and I just start going off. Why is that? Because that's what I infect the user, the other person in the conversation, the listener with. That's what I'm infecting them with. Right? So at the end when I say, like, fill out your credit card right now and just get started, they're like, yeah, whatever, yeah, man, whatever you say, you're so pumped up, right? So it really works. That's all I got on that. One thing that I would mention is what JR is giving you is a framework. Right? You got to understand this. What JR just gave you is a framework for what he talks about. He talks about the customer side and what the customer gets. He talks about the ease at which a customer wants that, understands that. Okay? So those are a couple of things that he mentioned really quick. And then he talks about so imagine that from the perspective of a customer, and then he says, well, here's what's on the business builder's side of things. Here's some of the incentives that you have. He talks about social proof, where, hey, I know this guy Matt Turner, who just walked away from $42 million worth of internet contracts to move on this, which right away is going to get somebody's attention. I mean, it got my attention, right, when I first heard this thing. So if you go back and listen to that part, JR just gave you a framework for what he touches upon. You're going to paint the picture inside of that frame based on the person that you're speaking with. So no two conversations, no two people that you talk to are you going to have an identical conversation with. There's not a script. There's a framework. And then you paint the picture based on what that person says. So if somebody comes to me and they say, Kala, yeah, one of the things I've been struggling with is like I just spent $2,000 on traffic and I haven't gotten any sales, and I'm sending it to this offer, and I'm really wondering why this thing isn't working. Well, I'm probably going to talk to them about traffic when I get on a call with them. I'm going to talk to them about, well, here's some of the reasons that traffic often doesn't work in the niche that you're in, and I'll break it down for them. That that if you're sending traffic to an offer that through channels that are saturated, if that word, then obviously you're not going to get the conversions that are possible. So what if you had a fresh offer? Right? That might be something that I say. Now, if somebody else comes along and says to me, "Hey, Kala, what I'm struggling with right now is like I get team members on board, but they don't make money their first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they just quit." Well, then I'm going to probably talk to them about the opportunity for them to actually put their team members to work doing tasks, earning credits in a rotator. Right? So I'm always going to find out for somebody what is their highest, what is the value that's in it for them, and then I'm going to harm that value there. Because I understand that all I'm doing is solving someone's problem. That's my job. That's your job as a marketer. You solve people's problems. And in order to do that, you need to know what their problems are first. That's why it's really important what JR and Matt are saying is that they're starting a conversation, they're getting the person to talk about themselves and what's going on with their business, and because they get people talking about themselves, it opens up the door for them to ask, so what are some of the challenges you're facing in your business right now, right? And a lot of people who aren't getting if they're not making $5,000, $10,000 a month, they're facing challenges in their business, right? And they're easy. Those challenges are easy to point out. So if somebody's not completely 100% satisfied with their income right now, then you can easily get them to talk about some of the problems that they're facing in their business. And all you got to do is identify what that is, and then position your new offer as the solution. So I really can't say that enough. So JR just gave you an excellent framework. He talked about multiple things that you can bring up to somebody. You need to know what that person is going to be interested in before you start having the conversation. That might be, I'm not discrediting anything that JR said, but that might be why JR is having a 30-minute conversation instead of a 15-minute conversation. Because if he can really nail down what their problem is, then he can just talk to them about the solution that he sees and then say, hey, obviously you're interested. I'm really excited about this. I'm sure you can tell. Why don't I shoot you over this real quick video and you can watch and you can see people inside. You're going to see people inside that video walking away from 6, 7, and 8-figure incomes to move on this with me, and you're going to discover why it is. And what you're also going to discover when you watch that video is you're going to discover how this solves your traffic problems, or you're going to discover as you watch that entire presentation how this is going to solve your retention problems for your team. You're going to discover in that presentation how this is going to solve your conversion problems that you're dealing with, right? And all I'm doing there is I'm telling them that when you watch this presentation, you're going to find the solution to that problem that you mentioned to me earlier. And why do I do that? Because if I set that intention inside of somebody's mind before I send them over to the presentation, that's what they're more likely going to find. And that's all I want them to focus on while they're watching the presentation, is looking for a solution to what their problem is specifically. Does that make sense, guys?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Are you guys all starting to get this? There's people messaging like, Cam, just give us the 5 steps. No, I want to open a loop like 6 more times before before we finally give them to you guys. All right, so this is what I want to do. I really want to give you guys, and just like JR did, he gave you guys a framework. And I want to give you guys a framework, and I want you to see how everything Kayala just said, everything Matthew just said, everything JR just said, and everything that Christian just said all fits inside of this, and how you can play with it yourself. We're not telling you how you have to show up, exactly what you have to say. We're giving you a framework that you can play with, because every conversation is organic. We're not going to show you how to pitch someone. I'm not going to show you how to sell something. I'm going to show you how you can simply expose people to information that is naturally going to want them to get excited, and why you're going to want to do this. So there's a couple things I want to talk about here quick. I'm going to show you guys my screen. What is going on here? Google Hangouts would like to know which screen to share. I have so many things open.
Share your desktop. I want to share your desktop so you can see everything on your screen.
Okay, entire screen.
Yeah.
Look, guys, you don't need to know how to use a computer in order to make $1 million on the internet. It's true. So the number one thing, guys, that I want to talk about is why are we building a team first? Some of you, you're like, oh, I got here because I just wanted to use the rotators. Why are you telling me to build a team first? It's the most profitable thing you can do right now. Every single new team member that comes on is like another share in the rotator for you. And the number one thing you want to do, whether you came here to build or not, whether you came here for this reason or not, I think you're going to want to set aside your ego a little bit, listen to some people that are making the types of money that you want to make, and you're going to want to focus, do this basic stuff, work with your existing circle of influence, and build a team first. Hit sales director, and then we're going to transition into the customer acquisition phase, and this is what's going to make it the most profitable for you, all right? So this is why you're going to build a team first and why you're going to do this. Number one thing with building your team first in level 1 is making a list. Make a list, all right? Make a list, not just one list, but what did we talk about? We talked about making a list of 3 different lists that you're going to make here. 3 separate lists. One, you're going to make a list of all the networkers that you know, the people in the home business space, entrepreneurs, any business-minded person that you can really talk to, that you can reach out, that you know is going to be interested in the business side of things. So you have the networkers, entrepreneurs. I'm not going to try to write that whole word out. Entrepreneurs and biz builders, right? The second list that you're going to make. And the bigger the list, the better. If you can't make a list of at least 50 people, like you're not trying hard enough. Dig deep. There's people, and I know this has happened to you guys too, that you forget even exist. That you maybe haven't touched with or talked to in a while, right? Just go through this process of just even remembering, finding them, going through your Facebook feed, everything that you can do to just make the biggest list you can. The next is the hard worker list. Some maybe people that have never been in a biz op before, someone that you know could really use this opportunity, someone that you know is grinding at jobs, has a good work ethic, is willing to do stuff, is making it happen, and does have some financial drive and initiatives, right? So you want to think about all those hard workers that you know in your life that you have a solution for, that this is a good fit for. And the last thing here is your dream list. All the people that you wish were in your downline, that you're like, oh my God, if only. I heard about this guy that built a team over here or did this over here. He doesn't really know who I am. I've never really talked to him. Guess what? I want you to make a list of that. I want you to make a dream list. The second thing that you're going to do after you make your list is you're going to actually start to reach out. You're going to start to reach out. You are do not pitch. Meaning that you do not send a link in your first message and say, hey, check this out. Do not pitch. You reach out. You reconnect. See how they're doing. Have a genuine interest in them.
I'm just going to jump in here real quick, Cam, and tell people that when Cameron reached out to me, and he's still going to probably try to tell you that he wasn't going to sell me something, but I know he
wasn't going to.
But so full of shit. I love it.
Not in that conversation. I wasn't going to. In the next one, maybe.
Cam reaches out to me and says, "Hey, Cal, are you coming up here for snowboard season?" And my response was, "Hey, so I saw you just got moved over to Googly. Why?" So guys, I mean, very seriously, you do not need to pitch opening the door. Do not do that. Just focus on building a conversation at first.
Yeah. So open a door, have the conversation, reach out, connect. When they ask you what you're doing, which naturally always comes up in every conversation, you know what? Be excited, be enthusiastic. Talk about the project that you're working on and kind of your perspective. You don't have to stay here and talk about all the benefits that I notice and all of the reasons that I see that this is a $10 million exit easily for myself and my business, or why that this is a super passive $100,000 a month within the next. You don't have to talk about all those things. Talk about the things that you see, why you're so excited. You do not have to sell. Do not get into specifics. Do not get into specifics, because if you get in and you're like, I see this, and this, they're going to be like, what? I like to take a very ambiguous approach. This is an incredible project. I like to pre-frame it and set it up so that you can actually send them. And this is kind of part of the reaching out phase. I didn't add it in as its own step. That you're actually going to send them the corresponding video or material. So what we've been talking about using is we've been using a Hangout that Christian and Matt were doing. What I want you guys to understand is that there's a lot of different materials here. For instance, we have access to all of these videos. There's this Christian telling a story, this audio. It's incredible. Personally, I always use the Hangout first. And if someone has more questions, because this call gets really specific into the numbers of the rotator and those things, I let this do it. So if they ever have any questions, I still just kind of use another tool. So one of the things that I want to say, guys, as you're making your lists and stuff, and one of the most powerful things you can do is continue to go through these sales materials. That Hangout with Christian and Matt, I've probably watched that Hangout 8 or 9 times now. I've listened to this call 2 or 3 times now. And what I did is I wanted to make sure that I kind of took an inventory of all of the tools that I had. It's like all the arrows that I have in my quiver here, right? I wanted to take an inventory of everything that I had that I was going to be able to share. So I want to know which one. Like if someone has questions about the SEC and some of the information that they've seen, I know that I have a Hangout that talks specifically about that. If someone wants to talk about the money and income, I know I have a video about that. They want questions about comp plan, I know I have a video for that. So we're going to give you guys all these links. I know that majority of you already have them. If some people have questions about the SEO project and all that stuff, I'm going to give them this $100 million exit video, which is like a 3-hour in-depth SEO training. Some people would pay thousands of dollars just for this video. It's an entire pretty much training on SEO, and it really emphasizes the project and the tasks and everything that's happening. So I want you guys to know the tools and stuff that we have to work with here, and that you can use, because not everybody wants the exact same thing. Personally, I've been focusing on getting exposure for that one Hangout. So send them the tool. So the tool that you want to use, and there's not a one-size-fits-all, guys, where I'm going to say copy and paste this message and send this. That's not how it works. We're people here. I want you to realize that you're talking to real people, and that if you genuinely show up with the intention of helping, of reaching out, of reconnecting, that's going to come across. And that in and of itself, that your intention going into a conversation is pretty much one of the most powerful, one of the most important things that you can have right out of the gate. So if my intention is to go in there and sell somebody, then they're going to feel sold to. If my intention is to go in there and help them, then they're probably going to feel my sincerity and desire to help them and to help them understand what's going on and why they need to be a part of it, right? So reach out, don't pitch, connect with them, and find a way based on your conversation to sell them on watching the video. So some of the things that I've said when people have asked me what you're working on, like actually I'm working on like one of the biggest projects I've ever worked on. A buddy of mine, he flipped my world upside down a month ago when I heard that he walked away from $42 million in SEO contracts. I mean, who would ever walk away from something like that? And it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I didn't know what was going on. And obviously I summarized this up, but I just want to give you guys an idea of this. I didn't know what was going on, but when I heard what he was doing, I knew I had to be a part of it, and I'd actually really love your opinion on it too. Could you do that for me? And they're like, yeah, like great, watch this video. And I sent them just the YouTube link, not a sales page, nothing, a YouTube link, because nobody feels sold going to something on YouTube, right? You send them to a third-party site with all of this stuff on it, they feel a little sold to. So I send them just the YouTube link, and I say, let me know if you see what I do. And you want to know what happens? Not more than 9 times out of 10, is that they reach back and they're like, wow, this looks incredible. The worst response I've got is, I'm super busy at what I'm doing right now, but keep me updated. You know what I mean? So just all you have to do at this point is you've made a list, you've reached out, you've reconnected, and you've exposed them to one of the tools. And it's totally your choice on what's been resonating with you the most. I know that some of you guys have found other Hangouts that resonate with you a little more, and what we're going to do is we're going to compile a list of all of the different Hangouts and stuff that we've really liked and that work, and that you can actually start getting exposure for. And we're also going to start doing live Hangouts like every other day here, especially for the sprint, and that there's already some happening within Team Blue Card that you guys are going to be able to promote as well. And if you're doing anything here, we're going to pull you out on one, and when we pull you out on one, you're going to have something live where you can actually start sharing and have us explaining this on your behalf. All right? So reach out, do not pitch, send them the tool. Do you want to know the next thing you do after you send them a tool? Oops. Answer questions. Questions are good. It doesn't mean like what's going on. It's like a question means that they're making a decision, that they want to buy it. And some of the number one questions that I've been getting, and I know a lot of people have been getting different ones, the number one question I've been getting is, what are the different packages? How can I get started? And this is what I wrote it out here. Where's my Skype? I wrote it out to Julian here recently. Look, he just like, you've messaged me this 5 times. I'm like, because I keep resending it to him so I know that I have it. And this is what I have here. I'll paste it into the chat for you guys, but it never keeps kind of its formatting. So I want you guys to see this. There's a TM option, $597, $99, $497, which pays 5% commission and puts you in a position for the customer rotator. There's the TLA position, which is $2497, which pays 10% commission and puts you in a position for the business builders and customers on the rotator, and the ability to bring in nonprofits and retailers. If you want to sprint for sales director to qualify for the $1 million guarantee, because right now this is still on the table, and I'm really kind of pushing that. Like, if you want to run for this right now, then I highly suggest that you grab a TLA position because you're going to be a lot closer to qualify. And then I kind of tell them what that is. And I even tell them, like, if I'm going to copy and paste something, I tell someone before I'm going to copy and paste it, because I find that it feels a little weird when it took you 2 seconds to send me a paragraph. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hold on 1 sec. I actually just wrote this out for someone else. Let me copy it over for you real quick. And I actually do tell them that. So let me find our oops.
I just want to throw in something really quick. Personally, I don't have a single person that's come in at TM because I don't even push it. I literally just push TLA, and that's what's up with me. The way I explain it to them is that if you're serious, you're gonna get in at TLA, you know. And for TM, I only go to TM if it's like they actually can't. Like, if they're broke, I get them in at TLA still. So it's the way you speak to them.
I don't promote it at all. You definitely want to make sure that you, especially for the guys that are doing a push for SD, SD is where people want to be. It's the only place that you're going to get access to both of the things on the rotator, and that you're also going to be able to bring on nonprofits and stuff. And you all, obviously, it's just where you want to be for building your business, especially if you want to take a run at sales director. And for those of you guys that are on this call right now that maybe are a team member, you're probably going to want to go do what you can, do what you got to do, and pay the difference and upgrade. The number one reason being that people are going to want to know what you did. When you're answering your question, most of the times the question is like, where did you get started? If I told them, oh, I just got a TM, they're going to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to get that too. They're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to one-up you and get TLA if I'm following you into something and you didn't even do it. They're going to do what you do. So the number one reason that you're going to want to be positioned there is that, especially if you want to start having paydays like everyone that's been on this call, especially Christian, right? After you answer these questions, and everyone always has different questions, but I want you to understand that when someone does ask a question, that it's a sign that they're getting ready to get started. The last thing here, the number 4 thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sign them up. Sign them up. Make sure you send over your link to them, and that you have your link active, and you know where to do that. We're gonna we'll have it set up for you guys here. So this is what your link looks like. You just have your business ID here at the end, and we'll show that to you guys here right away. And then the next thing that you're going to want to do, the very last step, you want to know what it is? I don't even have room for it. The very last step is to welcome them to the family. Welcome them to the fam. Add them into the group. Welcome them. Support, celebrate their success here with them. Like, I'm sure what you guys are going to notice is inside this group that there's people getting welcomed all the time. All you have to do is when they're your Facebook friend, you type in their name here, and you add them. Add them in. That's it. And then we'll see it as admins, and we'll be able to approve you. And when you hit SD here, we're going to make you an admin in this group here as well, so that you can approve your people that much faster. But guys, that's literally all you have to do, is reach out with people, working with your existing circle of influence. And how do I switch back to? Is it back on me now? Nice, that was easy. And that's literally all we have to do is connect. So do you have anything that you wanted to add to that, Kiala? I'm pretty sure we touched on most of the things. It's literally, I just wanted to break it down in just 5 simple steps to just be able to reach out, make it happen, get exposure to the materials, to the tools that we have here, answer questions, take orders. That's it.
That's about it, dude. So for those of you who are asking where that long list of resources is, it's in the Files tab in the Facebook group under, I think it's titled Getting Started. And it's like, 11 links or whatever. So when I'm inviting people, when I'm adding people into the Facebook group, I'm giving them 2 instructions. Watch the webinar replay that's at the top, which will now be this webinar replay, and grab all the links inside of the Files tab in the Getting Started document which you can find under the Files tab.
So the Files tab is right here, guys. For those of you guys that aren't used to Facebook groups and stuff, Files tab is right here. When you click on it, you're going to see Getting Started. And boom, all the links there that we were talking about.
Yeah, so that's all I've been telling people to do right there, basically what you're doing. And so one key thing that I did want to mention, though, is a pretty savvy way that Cameron is introducing. Jomel, send them the tool means the tool is the video or the call replay or whatever you're using as the tool to sell them. That's what he's talking about when he's saying the tool. That's just Cameron being like, over everyone's head again. That's just what he does. So I have to I'm like Cameron's interpreter, right? I mediate between the average guy and Cameron George. So yeah, Jamel, you'll send them the video. What I was saying, though, is one of the savvy ways that Cameron's been introducing this to people, and I've been using to introduce this to people, is literally once I get the conversation to a point where I can shoot them the video, is I ask them, would you mind watching this video for me, this video real quick, and tell me, do you see what I see? Instead of telling them what I see or what I'm excited about, I want to know what they see in it for themselves, right? And so they'll get back to me, and everyone that I've done that with, and I've done it with some high-level network marketers. I've done it with a guy who's been a 6-figure earner. In the last 10 years, he's been with several companies, and he's done 6 figures in all of them. I did it with a guy who's done, several $1 million in network marketing. And both of them came back to me with the response, well, what I see is a huge opportunity. Now, one of them, the guy who's done millions, he couldn't get started for his own reasons. He's under contract with a company right now. And then another one, the other guy, he's considering seeing if he can move some people over without him compromising the position that he has in his current company because he's helping them in a launch. So he has some verbal agreements. But regardless of whether or not they came on board, all they did was answer my question, do you see what I see? And they got back to me and told me what they were seeing. And then they said, hey, if you want to talk more about this, I'll jump on the phone with you. And they were willing to, that opened up the door for everything. So that's just kind of like this killer line that I stole from Cameron. So there's 2 killer lines. You either say, hey, are you coming snowboarding this season? Or you say, do you see what I see? And both of those just get sales like crazy. I'm just joking about the snowboarding one, right? Because that's what
that one works. That one works the best.
That's so if you want to bring on a 6-figure earner on your team, ask them if they're going snowboarding this season. Anyway, seriously though, on a serious note, just go ahead and to people that message and ask them, hey, once you've gotten to the point where you can intro the video or whatever other tool that you want to use, we're all using the same Hangout video that's been going viral. Once you intro them once you get to the point where you can intro them that, a cool, just throwing it out there for you, the line is, would you mind watching this and telling me, do you see what I see? And if they come back and ask you, hey, well, I don't know, what do you see? Well, then there's your opportunity to open up with everything that you see in it. I see billions of dollars that are about to change hands over the next 2 years, and I see an opportunity for me to get a piece of that billions. Right? I see the easiest product that I've ever seen to sell, and now I can offer that as a product to my affiliates that they can sell with ease and fluidity. What I see is an opportunity where the retention is going to be really, really high, both on the customer side and the business builder side, because it costs the customer nothing, and the business builder can earn customers just by simply doing work that anyone can do. What I see is the opportunity to work with 6, 7, and 8-figure earners on a project that they've walked away from their incomes for, which is probably a really rare thing to do. What I see is a company that's on the ground floor that hasn't even gotten traction yet here in America that'll be in every household inside of the next 2 to 3 years. And for me to be a part of that movement, what I see is an opportunity to really affect people's lives in a positive way without asking them to change their spending habits. All these different things that you see, that's your opportunity to open the door and explain what you see, but only after someone's asked you. Until then, it's really vague. Until then, it's like, hey, what I've been telling people, same thing we're telling you to tell people, is I've been telling people, well, I actually just walked away from a six-figure income. I just walked away from a multiple six-figure income, and I have friends walking away from 7- and 8-figure incomes to work on probably what I think is one of the biggest projects and the biggest opportunities in the marketplace right now. And usually they'll ask, well, what is it? And then I just shoot them the video, right? And I tell them exactly what I just told you to tell them. So that's about all I got, man. We're about 2 hours in on this training. This will be the training that we have new members watch when they come on board, and I think this is a killer training, really.
I think we're going to post this training in the file section. We're going to pin it at the top, and we're also going to include a little summary to kind of go over this with. So we'll put together a summary here for you guys. So if you're seeing this right now, there's a PDF or there's something in and around this to help you with the 5 steps that we just laid out. And the last thing I want to say before we close here is why this conversation stuff is so important. Why are you not just sending links? Why isn't this just a numbers game, sending out links? And the main reason that you want to have a conversation and go back and forth a little bit first is, one, it shows that you're genuinely interested, that you're not just there to pitch them. I mean, even if that's all I said, that's the biggest reason to to go do that. But 2, it creates a little bit of a commitment. Like, there's a vested interest in this conversation. We've been back and forth here. I can't just all of a sudden disappear and not come back. And then when I ask a question like, do you see what I see? Can you check this out for me? I'd love your opinion on this, or whatever it is, whatever kind of floats your boat here. When I do something like that, you can't just go away now. There's that commitment there already in the conversation, and somebody's always going to come back. So the only time that you're ever going to see someone not respond to something like that is because you pop the question too early. And what I'm going to say to you right now is to do not waste a single moment. Sit down, make your list, go through some of the sales materials here to start realizing and taking inventory of what you have to work with. Start reaching out to people, having conversations, exposing them to the materials, and start answering the questions. Especially because you've gone through the sales materials so many times, you're going to know the questions, you're going to know them internally, and then you can just start signing people up. And we can get you the TC, we can get you your video here with Christian Henneke, we can get you to sales director here right away and join you into the Millionaires Club. And we can just start cranking this thing out. It doesn't have to be hard. It's really simple. I know we talked about a lot of things here tonight, but I want you to just take a deep breath and understand that you've got everything you need in front of you here right now. And all you got to do is take a little bit of action, and you're going to make it happen.
I'm going to jump in here, Cam, real quick. I got to run. I'm actually going to go buy a whiteboard so I can start shooting some videos where I draw circles and pyramids. Just take it really old school on these folks, man. You know.
Oh my God.
But I do have to get before they close. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. I just really want to take the opportunity to close this out and really pump you guys up. If you're watching this right now and you're not the most pumped that you've ever been in your entire life, check your pulse. There's $1 million opportunity sitting on the table right now. $1 million. You have right now the easiest product that I've ever seen offered into the marketplace ever. And I've been an entrepreneur, wannabe entrepreneur for 14 years now. Right? I've never seen a product this easy to sell. You have the ability to work with high-level marketers from the ground floor building their own businesses. So you get to learn and see that we're doing the same things that we're teaching you to do, and you get to do it along with us. You get the opportunity to plug in to a system that can work for just about anyone. I mean, if they can drive a car like JR was saying, then they can earn money here. And really what you have is an opportunity that's really going to, there will literally be billions of dollars exchanging hands here over the next 2 years, and you get to be a piece of that pie. You get to get a piece of that pie, and there's a substantial piece for you if you're really willing to work hard. So all I'm saying right now is that you need to be excited about your opportunity, excited about the future, excited about what you've just stepped into, and really step into your power with certainty and intention and move forward as fast and as hard as you possibly can. Sleep is for wussies, right? Sleep is for people who don't have a big opportunity staring them in the face. Sleep is for people who are already kind of giving up on their dreams and goals, right? Put away the television, put away the distractions, and get to work. We laid down for you exactly what you need to be focusing on moving forward with this, and just literally focus on that. Open up, 10 to 20 conversations a day. Play connector. I'm available to my team for sure. I'm available to my team 24/7. If you need me to be up at 4 a.m., I'll probably be a little bit tossed on a glass of wine or so, but I'll be there to close somebody into your business for you, right? Cam's going to be there for the people on his team. You have the advantage right now of connecting people with six-figure earners, who have proven results that you can connect them with and let them close them into your business for you. Right now, you are on the ground floor of what I believe is going to be the biggest project, right, that this industry has seen. And I think that we're going to see more millionaires come out of this, out of this project, than just about anything else that we've seen in the world. The company owner has publicly said that he wants Doobly to create more millionaires than Microsoft. So you're running with people who have vision, you're running with people who have talent, you're running with people who are going to move and they're going to run fast and break stuff, and you have the chance to align yourself with them. So get pumped up. Get serious about your future. There's $1 million on the line right now. You can literally write your ticket for life inside of the next 10 days, 20 days, whatever it is. Right? Get pumped, get excited, go open up 10 to 20 conversations a day, plug them into the people on this team that are qualified to close them, and get people closed into your business. And get excited about what you just unlocked, because what you just unlocked literally can set the stage for you to be financially independent for the rest of your life. That's what I believe. And that's what I'm excited about. And that's why I don't get a whole lot of sleep at night. That's why the moment my eyes open in the morning, I'm not pushing the snooze button. I'm up out of bed, right? Faster than a jackrabbit on Viagra. I stole that from another company anyway. My guys, seriously, be pumped. Be excited. This is huge. And you can do this. You can do this. That's the big thing. No matter what you come from, no matter what you've been through, no matter how many times you've failed, no matter how many times you've struggled, no matter what your past looks like, set that aside and make the decision that right now you're going to step into your power, you're going to step into that greatness that's inside of you, and you're going to make a magnificent example of it. Take it out into the future. Take it out to people. And make this happen for you. You deserve it. Family deserves it. And some of you really do need to treat this like your life depends on it, because for some of you, it does. Because if you continue down the road that you're on right now, 5 years from now, you're not going to be any happier or any more successful than you are today, right? 5 years from now, you're still going to be looking people in the eye that you love and telling them, I'm sorry, I can't give you the things that you want or need in life. Don't do that to yourself, right? You have an opportunity right now, today, to transform literally every aspect of your life. Run with it. That's all I got, guys.
Boom! Drop the mic. Love you guys. See you on the next team call. Oh, sorry. Last thing. What we're gonna start doing, especially for the rest of the month, is we're gonna start doing a midday. I don't even know what to call it. Midday motivation. Something where we're just actually gonna connect every single day for just 15 minutes. It's gonna be a little hangout like this. We're gonna drop it in around 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
And we're gonna drop the link inside the group. We're gonna be here to connect with you guys every single day to keep everybody on point, everybody moving forward. Any questions you need, everything, so that we're all on the same page and we can all continue to move forward. So look for that. And with that said, the mic was already dropped. Love you guys. See you on the next call.